fly. Huge air over that Amsoil finish line for Anna Hauger. Into the turn on the final lap.
Uh-oh.
What do we got here?
A little trouble for Cecily there. She had trouble in round one qualifier.
She did.
Looked like it stalled out on her maybe there, and the hairpin coming on to the straightaway before the Amsoil finish line jump.
That drops her back to 4th spot right now.
Yeah.
So Forcell and ProAm are your top 3 behind Anna Hauger as we have less than a lap to go here as the sun's setting in Valcourt.
Yeah, and you're fighting again in this class to get into the top 10.
Yeah.
There are 13 racers, so 3 will go on the back row. You don't want to be one of those 3, and Anna Hauger making sure that she will not be one of those 3 gets the checkered flag here in round 2.
And Anna Hauger with the win. Forcell will come across in second. And that should be right there out of that final turn, headed for the Amsoil finish line. Frederic Perron. 3rd place, there you go.
Yeah, so Broncos 1-3 for her 2 qualifiers.
So that is 1, 2, 3. And that was round 2, heat 1 of the Pro-Am women. And we'll go to the starting line momentarily for round 2, heat 2. And it could be very interesting here because of what happened in round 1, heat 1.
Yeah, and if you weren't with us earlier, let's show you what happened here. Victoria Dillon and Avery Hemmer were racing for the lead coming down through the final corner. Hemmer's on the outside. Oof. And it looks like Dillon comes up, maybe didn't realize she was going to come all the way up. Contact was made. Hemmer got knocked over, and boy, she was not a happy camper.
Not happy at all?
Yeah.
So we will find out more about that as we go, but we'll find out on the racetrack momentarily if there's any decisions to be made when you're lined up. It's in starters' hands. Let's find out what happens. Both your racers on the screen, and they are racing. Into the turn they go, and this time Avery Hemmer gets that stud boy hole shot. She wants to take no chances of being bottled up and bumped into again. She'll go to the outside, but right there behind her is Victoria Dillon.
There was a hornet's nest back there for the 3rd spot going into that first turn past the Amsoil finish line jump. That settled in a little bit, but Hemmer with a nice launch off the line. It's easy when you get the launch, you get out in the lead because you control the race at that point. You can go the pace that you want to go and run as hard as you want to run.
I saw Ava McCurdy back there in 2nd place as well. So your leader, though, Avery Hemmer, the 14-year-old and your points leader heading into this weekend. She'll head out of the FXR final turn, and down the stretch she comes over the Amsoil finish line. Now 3 laps to go for Avery Hemmer. We'll set the rest of the field as well. It continues to be McCurdy in 2nd, Winslow now in 3rd, with Dillon back to 4th place.
Yeah, Nayli LaBelle back in 5th, didn't get the start she was looking for. She kind of got boxed out there when everybody started crowding in that battle for 3rd going into the first corner of the race past the Amsoil finish line jump. The Hammer continues to roll along here with absolutely no issues, and sometimes this is what you need to do when you have a situation like that where you have a frustrating end to a race, whether it's from contact, whether it's a mechanical, is just, chalk it up and come back, refocus on the job at hand. You want to get a win in the next qualifier. You want to get a good finish in the next qualifier. And speaking of that, Victoria Dillon
just shot into 2nd there.
Yeah, made a nice pass there. So she moves past Ava McCurdy.
Wow, that was quite the power move as well. As you were speaking there and she was making that move, I was thinking about what you were saying. Avery Hemmer finished dead last because of the off in that first heat. So it matters very much to her, obviously, that she wins this one for the points. But also, she wanted, I'm sure, Victoria Dillon to finish a ways back there. But now Victoria running in 2nd. So Hemmer in your lead. But where she'll start in the final is still up for grabs here. Out of the FXR final turn, down the stretch she comes. The white flag will fly for the 14-year-old Avery Hemmer over the Amsoil finish line with big air.
And Avery is going fast, and she's not overriding the sled. You can kind of watch her body language and her body positioning. She's not all over the place. She's kind of centered up and just letting the sled kind of roll free a little bit as she makes her way through the switchback sections here. there's really no place on this track that you really get to draw a decent breath, except maybe when you come out of that hairpin turn. You might be able to just have a second to refocus coming out of this section here a little bit as she's getting ready to come to the checkers.
Down the stretch she comes, headed for the AMSOIL finish line. The checkers will fly. A big win for Avery Himmer, recovering here in round 2, heat 2 of the Pro-Am women division. And it looks like it'll be quite the victory over Victoria Dillon, who will be coming across in second. An 11-second win for Avery Himmer. This is your battle for third on the screen right now. The 42 is Ava McCurdy. She'll come across in third.
Yeah, and in the game of mental chess that happens in the world of snowcross, that was kind of serving notice on the field of, yeah, I had a frustrating end to round number 1, but don't forget, I'm bad fast.
Yes, absolutely right. So there you go. There are the first 2 heats and the first 2 rounds of the Pro-Am women division. Coming up next, we'll have the Pro Light round 2. But before we do that, as we watch the sunset on this beautiful racetrack here in Valcourt, Quebec, Canada. Again, the birthplace of the modern snowmobile. Read a lot of history about it earlier today. Don't forget, if a Polaris wins today, you get that shop rag. There you go. While supplies last, all fans in attendance on your way out of the venue will get a free shop rag to do with what you please. So make sure you check those out.
And Brunt Workwear wants to give you a little bit of a deal. Of course, they are the presenting sponsor of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross this season. On your first Brunt order of $60 or more, use the code SNOWCROSS10. You knock $10 off. Go to the website to cash that in at bruntworkwear.com. That's bruntworkwear.com.
You deserve some new boots. Get them from Brunt. And don't forget, a little bit later, we'll find out who weekend gets $1,000 and a from our friends into racing tomorrow. Far from finished with AMSOIL Snowcross presents Prix de Valcourt. The Pro Light division on the starting line with round 2, heat 1, and there's the 747. That's your points leader heading into this weekend's racing. That's Cameron Cole out of Medina, Minnesota. The headlights are on, and we are about to go to starters' orders as we look at the lineup for Pro Light round 2, heat 1. Trent Whitworth had a rough first heat. We'll find out if he can do better here in the second one. It's in starters' hands. We're about to go green. And they're racing! Down the stretch they come. It's rough into turn 1.
Oh, nice move there on the outside. Side by side over the AMSOIL finish line jump. Jeremy Beaulieu trying to work his way around Evan Christian, and now at least has got a say in the fight here as Christian gets out in front, but Beaulieu is right there coming off that outside, but he's got company.
Somehow they all found their way through that first turn, and the race continues, but you could throw a rug over 1, 2, 3 as they're on the racetrack right now, headed down the backstretch, chasing Evan Christian.
Yeah, top 4 pretty tight here. Bolduc and Johansson were third. They almost had one slam land on another there. Christian almost had somebody hooking on his back bumper there in the form of Jeremy. As they come over the AMSOIL finish line jump, they'll get a little bit of separation now, but they're taking different lines around the track. Christian took the outside around that first corner, now drops down to the inside. So again, when you're the leader, you got the pick of the litter. You can basically go where you want, and he decided the outside lane was faster in one corner, inside lane faster in the next one.
I'll tell you what, he almost jumped into the parking lot over the AMSOIL finish line right there. That's how he got that big lead. Evan Christian, the 33-year leader. Beaulieu in second, Bolduc in third, Peterson and Malou right there, your top 5. Out of the FXR final turn, taking a look right there at the 122 of Beaulieu, losing second spot to the 25 of Bolduc.
Yeah, Bolduc with a nice cut pass there on the inside. Jeremy just went out wide, and sometimes all it takes is one mistake. You've got side-by-side action happening behind him, so this is turning into a hornet's nest back here.
That's right, and Christian loving that as he's getting away with the lead, but there's second, third, fourth, and fifth on your screen as we speak with 2.5 laps to go. Inside line for fourth place and third place, and that battle continues as they'll now head down the backstretch, chasing Bull Duke for the second place spot.
Evan Christian blissfully unaware of the chaos happening behind him right now as he is on a Saturday cruise at the front of the field. He's got several seconds in the bank over Justin, who has got company now for the number 2 spot.
And I believe Baloo might have got him over the Amsoil finish line, but the race continues, so it doesn't matter at the moment. Great battle right there. That's second, third, and fourth again on your screen. Baloo, Balduke, and Cole. And the outside line, what a weird move that was right there from Balduke. Decided to go outside at the last second, but will it work? Look at the space he's made up. And here comes Cole.
Yeah, this is a great battle here for second, third, and fourth. And Justin tried to carving the inside there on Jeremy. Couldn't get the launch off the corner. And his bogging down a little bit gives Cam Cole the opportunity to try to make a run at him here.
And we're on your final lap, and that's your points leader, Cameron Cole, on the blue sled that just took third spot. Not a great start for him, but he's making his way through the field as we are a half a lap from the finish here in round 2, heat 1 of your Pro Light division.
Oh, look at this. Lane split coming into full effect here. Short distance off the second half of the switchbacks is going to...
Yeah, there's your leader on the left side of the screen. Evan Christian's going to take the win as the checkers fly over the Amsoil finish line, but the battle for second continues to rage as they're in the FXR final turn. Down the stretch they come. Second will go to Baloo. Third to Cole. And fourth to Balduke. What a race there for Cameron Cole. Made his way up to third spot. But the winner and the man who dominated round 2, heat 1 of the Pro Light division was Evan Christian. Out of Findlay, North Dakota, that 33 was hooked up from the very start of that race.
And he was hooked up pretty good in round number 1, too. So that's a good sign for Evan. I'm sure he's going to have a smile on his face when he gets back to the trailer here and starts to prepare for the Pro Light final coming up a little later on, because he will be locked in on the front row there. And it's always great when you get locked in on that front row. You get to breathe a little bit. You don't have to run that extra race, the LCQ. The only time sometimes the LCQ might be an advantage to you is it does get you out on the track before everybody comes out for the final, so you kind of get an extra bonus look at it. But again, conditions are going to change by the time the final comes, so I don't know if you might be able to learn something, but most of the time you'd rather not have the wear and tear on your body and on the sled. Makes
sense to me. Pro Light Heat 2, Round 2, coming to the starting line. Here's your starting lineup. Dylan LaBelle, Kenny Goike, Jordan Beasy, who had a great first round, Dominic Hegman, who I believe had the fastest lap in practice earlier. You got Tanner Johnson, and 10 sleds on the starting line here. You look all the way down there, the 28 of Drew Freeland. Very, very fast. Zach Farmer as well on the 407. So 10 sleds about to go green here in round 2, heat 2 of the Pro Light division. Every one of them trying to find their way out of the LCQ straight into the final is what they'd like. Again, 10 sleds, and there's the 911.
Yeah, remember Jordan had that good run earlier in round number 1. Kenny Goike was kind of in the mix there as well, and they've got some prime gating positions here for round number 2. But watch the guy over here with that turquoise Makita sled, Dylan LaBelle, coming out of that number 3 gate.
The 522 ready to go. Hegman right beside him right there. They're taking off their jackets, and we will go green momentarily. Again, this is round 2, heat 2 of your Pro Light division.
And Drew Freeland is way out on the outside. He's second from the outside with the number 28. We've seen people come off the outside and be able to pull it off. So things I think have been a little bit more equal than the racers originally anticipated. We'll see how it shakes out here in this second round qualifier.
It's going to starters orders, and we are about to go green. And they're racing! A great start in the middle for both those sleds. LaBelle may have gotten the stud boy hole shot, but it's close.
Freeland tried to get there on the outside, and we were almost 4 wide for a moment there. And almost a little hip check there, LaBelle.
We have a hard crash. That was LaBelle and Beasy that got together, and those sleds are hooked together. 3 sleds there hooked together. I see the 313 as well. That's Tanner Johnson. And LaBelle looks like he's having a bit of a hard time standing up in that soft snow over there. They're going to take a look at him. We'll make sure he's okay.
So yellow flag is going to be out in that zone of the track, and it's going to be one lane through there. So you're going to have to stay slowed down.
We'll have to make sure they do that as we got Kenny Goike, your leader right there, with Drew Freeland, Dominic Hegman.
Yeah, you see
second
everybody.
and third.
You see everybody wowing up there till they're past the incident. Then they can get back on the throttle again, and that just kind of accordions the field up here, the top three. So
out of Armada, Michigan, your leader's Kenny Goike on the 450 sled, followed by the 28. Of course, that's Drew Freeland as they're back on the gas down the backstretch. And now it looks like we have a new leader, as I believe Freeland might have gotten around him. He did. Out of the FXR final turn. Again, we'll reset the field as they hit the AMSOIL finish line, but the 28 appears to be your leader.
Yeah, and I think Hegman may have just made a move as well to go up into second.
He did. Good call.
Yeah, shuffling the deck there in the top three, and all of a sudden, Kenny a lap ago was looking at things from the front of the field. Now he's looking at it from the number 3 spot. And Freeland, who came along the outside, remember, he was far to the outside on the start, has worked his way up here into a lead. It's a small lead of only a couple of sled lengths, but he's still holding on up front.
Still trying to remove that sled from the track, as they'll still be yellow through that section for a while longer. But meanwhile, the FXR final turn, they'll head down the front stretch, and your leader, Drew Freeland, will get the sign that he's got 2 laps to go as he crosses that AMSOIL finish line. Let's see if the yellow is still out in this corner here. Yep, still is. They're still trying to clear the track there. So keep your sled on the ground. No passing right there.
Yep. And, gets a little tight there.
It sure does.
Back there about 4th or 5th.
Back on the gas they go. Freeland, Hegman, Goike, 1, 2, 3. Legendre and Nelson, 4th and 5th. They go down the backstretch now. A lap and a half to go for that man. Drew Freeland out of Corcoran, Minnesota on that 28 Skidoo.
You can see him working over some of the bumps and the kickers that have developed there on the way over into that hairpin turn. Final lap underway now for Drew. And he will come past the yellow flag zone there one more time. And should have clear racetrack the rest of the way here.
He got that sled off the track, so we're green everywhere right now as the battle back there is for third. I believe that's Goike and Legendre right there, battling for third. Nelson's back there as well, but your leader, Freeland, Hegman, Goike. That's 1, 2, 3. There's the 28 as we're less than half a lap to go into the FXR final turn. Over his shoulder he looks, back on the gas, the checkers fly, and the win will go to Drew Freeland.
Nice ride for Drew in this one, as well as for Dominic Hegman. Kenny Goike coming away in spots 1, 2, and 3. And not such a great outing for Dylan LaBelle, getting caught up in that wreck there with BC and Tanner Johnson.
We do see the flashing lights over there. We'll make sure he gets the best care anywhere and gets taken care of, the hometown boy of Dylan LaBelle. We'll take a look at exactly what happened earlier in that crash. Right here, less than a lap into the race. Landed kind of at the tip of the jump there and got into the other sled. I don't know if he may have gotten run over by another sled right there as well, but that was a hard impact. As you see, they're taking good care of him, making sure he's all right. Get all the information for you that we can, but you can be sure that he'll get the best care that you can possibly get. So we'll continue racing when we come back. That's Paul's Mall. My name is Chris Hockey, and this is AMSOIL Championship Snocross, presented by Brunt Workwear. It's the Grand Prix Skidoo de Valcourt from Valcourt, Quebec. We'll be right back.
Every race is a test of performance. When the stakes are high, racers rely on proven products. If AMSOIL products are engineered for this kind of punishment, you can trust them in your garage. Shop by vehicle to find everything you need for your ride. Get the protection you demand and performance you deserve with fast, free shipping from AMSOIL.com.
You know how important a garage or a shop is. It's where good things are built and broken things get fixed. I started running my home garage because the workwear industry wasn't working for my buddies in the trades. These guys deserve a brand that actually stands behind them and listens to their needs.
We're a little bit bigger now, and so is the garage. Every week, our team gathers at the Brunt Garage and we open up for our customers and local workers to hang out, give feedback on our products, and be part of what we're doing here at Brunt.
We're building something better.
You have to fight to pull ahead, to find your edge, to do whatever it takes to make you 1/10 of a second faster, smarter, more committed than the other guy, because you've got the kind of passion that can overcome the impossible. And we've got the most powerful performance race fuel available to help you do it. Sunoco Race Fuels. Take the lead.
About to go green for their final. And they're racing! Who will get the step-away hole shot?
So I learned from my racing experiences how well AMSOIL performs in extreme environments. When we get dispatched to a large wildland fire, I can't afford breakdowns. If we break down, impacts could include loss of personal property and possibly lives lost. People are counting on us. I don't know if that equipment's going to be out there for a day, a week, or a month. Everything out there has to work, it has to perform. AMSOIL gives us a competitive advantage both on and off the track, and that's been one of the keys to our success.
And with the flick of a switch, the stability for cornering and high-speed maneuvering in the desert.
What does it take to build the most trusted ski in the sport? Every day, we choose the path of most resistance. You push the limits on the snow. We push the limits in the shop. Engineered for riders who never back down. Ride like a pro with the skis trusted by champions.
At Arctic Cat, we're planting our flag on more passion, more focus, more of what makes you bleed green. From now on, the trail's in charge, not the boardroom. Because we don't make rides for shareholders. We make them for you. Riders rule.
Every race is a test of performance. When the stakes are high, racers rely on proven products. If AMSOIL products are engineered for this kind of punishment, you can trust them in your garage. Shop by vehicle to find everything you need for your ride. Get the protection you demand and performance you deserve with fast, free shipping from AMSOIL.com.
And the sun continues to go down here at the Grand Prix de Valcourt, Valcourt, Quebec. Again, the birthplace of the modern snowmobile and the home of Skidoo. We are racing at AMSOIL Championship Snocross presented by Brunt Workwear. This is round 7 of our season. This is the Grand Prix Skidoo de Valcourt, and I'm right here with my man, the cowboy, Paul Smalla. We're about to go into round 2 of the AMSOIL Pro Light division. We had the earlier heats. We learned a lot. We saw some very, very fast racers, and we saw a very, very disappointed Emil Haar.
Absolutely. We saw Emil go off the racetrack down into the infield, and he finished dead last, 8th place in his qualifier, so he's got a big ocho as a score. Speaking of the ocho, how about Hunter Patino in round number 1? He got a heat win, and he did it with Jordan LaBelle putting some serious pressure on.
He sure did. You know, some things have been changing here at the racetrack, but the biggest thing changing is the sun is going down. The lights are up. What's that change for the racers? Obviously, how well they can see, but anything more than that?
It does change things a little bit because the temperature changes. Sometimes the actual humidity, the amount of moisture in the air will change. You've got to make adjustments in your jetting for that, in your sled to make sure you're getting that right fuel mixture into it and being able to generate the power that you're looking for. So there is a difference between daytime and nighttime. The biggest difference is the air temperature is going to drop now with the sun being down. It'll drop probably about 5 or 6 degrees from where we were. It was 27 earlier today during the sunshine. Temperature will probably drop down into the mid to high teens by the time we get to our 3 finals for the Bikeman Performance ProAm Women, Pro Light, and AMSOIL Pro.
Yeah, it's interesting because you saw the wind blowing pretty hard earlier. The wind seems to have died down a little bit, but the other thing that's going on here is I'm seeing so much going on in the pits, the activity between the races. You talked about how long you've been around this. I've been around it quite a bit myself with a few years off in there. So much happens in those trailers that didn't happen earlier in our career, specifically the amount of things they do on computer here. So the things you were just talking about that they have to change up, clutching, the jetting, everything like that, a lot of that's determined by little dots on a computer, isn't it?
Yeah. I've had a chance to look at some of the information that comes out, and it basically comes out like, in graph form. So if you took graph reading in school and you were good at graph reading and plotting and that sort of thing, you can look at it and understand it. And the mechanics have certainly adjusted to being able to utilize this technology to really fine-tune these sleds to a degree that probably wasn't possible even 3 or 4 years ago.
Incredible. Again, I can hear the sled start to run, so we're about to go green. Here's the deal. This is going to be round 2, heat 1 of the Pro Division, and the man on the point right there, the 96 of Creighton Dillon, the rookie, showed everybody that he's somebody to be contended with in the very first round. We're about to go green. It's in starters' hands. And they're racing in Valcourt.
Good launch off the line. Watch LaBelle off the outside there. He is right on the edge, and he was not giving up that real estate.
How about Gustav Salston with the stud boy hole shot there? And they are bumping and banging behind him as he tries to run away and hide.
3 wide back there for the third spot, coming out of that second 90-degree corner. into the switchback section for the first time. Choose your lane and choose it wisely.
The leader down the back stretch is Gustav Salston. I see LaBelle, your points leader, coming into tonight right there behind him. That might be Dylan behind them. We'll set the field for you momentarily. As they head down the front stretch towards the AMSOIL finish line. Across there for the first time, it's Salston, it's LaBelle, it's Dylan, it's Benham, and then Peterson, your top 5.
So let's see what LaBelle can do here if he can catch Gustav, and he's got to worry about playing offense and defense at the same time. He wants to run up there, challenge the leader, but he's got to watch out for Creighton Dillon. He could probably hear that there's a sled coming from behind. Creighton went inside, outside on the switchback that time, and it looks like it cost him a little bit of position because here comes Jacob Urich trying to maybe cross him over. Oh, Jake got, Benham tried to cross him over there and wound up in the soft stuff there, bogged down for a second.
He sure did. He had to slam on the brakes a bit or he'd have gotten into him again. That was a heck of a move. Meanwhile, up front, Salston and LaBelle starting to run away and hide a little bit, and LaBelle is all over Salston. Look at this. This is for the lead on your camera right now.
Well, let's see what happens here coming out of the switchback. Both tight to the inside, and Salston's going to get a nice launch. So he's getting some good low-end torque out of that sled, and you can see how Jordan is just banging his way through that rhythm section there on the backstretch.
Over the AMSOIL finish line now, 2 laps to go for Gustav Salston, who is your leader, and he is hooked up. LaBelle behind him, and Dylan now in third, starting to put some pressure on LaBelle.
And there's Daniel Benham at a quiet round number 1. Believe it was a, memory serves me correctly, 5th place finish in his first round qualifier, sitting in 4th here, and a little bit better, still probably looking for that speed that he's had in earlier rounds this season where it was like, wow, where did this come from? And now all of a sudden it's like maybe lost a half a step here.
Over the AMSOIL finish line, your leader, now 1 lap to go for Gustav Salston. LaBelle and Dylan continue to battle behind him. There's LaBelle just on your camera. There was Dylan just for a moment. That's 1, 2, 3 on your TV screen.
Gustav doing a good job here out front, just riding his own race. He can hear that there's sleds behind him, but he hasn't put his ski wrong here. He's just focused on hitting his marks, hitting his lines, and watch him through this rhythm section. Look at how smooth he is through that. That's the reason he has that gap over LaBelle.
Into the FXR final turn, and down the stretch they come for the final time. Round 2, heat 1 of the pros goes to Gustav Salston. And that'll put Jordan LaBelle in second, and Creighton Dillon will come across in third.
Daniel Benham will finish it off in 4th. Adam Peterson comes away with the 5th position. So nice ride for Gustav Salston.
Right from the very beginning, too. I mean, the stud boy hole shot, they were elbow to elbow, but he got out and tried to get away. LaBelle, a couple of flubs there, here and there, but he gave him pressure all through the race. So you feel good about that as well. So that's round 2, heat 1 of your pros. The AMSOIL Pro Division continues as we're sending right to the starting line. Round 2, heat 2 of the pros, and an Emil Haar Moose sighting on the starting line, and you know he wants to finish really well to get on the front starting line and not end up in the back row when it comes to the final a little bit later. That's the 31 of Emil Haar, your 2-time and defending champion. About to go to starters orders.
Look where Hunter Patnode is, all the way out on the outside here.
What a run he had in his first heat.
Well, he ripped the start. That was the key. So let's see if he can do it again.
Going to starters' hands. And they're racing in Valcourt.
Oh, look at that rip that Shield got off the inside.
The rookie.
That was a pretty hole shot.
Anson Shield across the AMSOIL finish line with the lead. Who's that to the inside?
Looks like that was Poirier there on the inside. So Teo coming off strong, but wait a minute. Is that a Moose sighting that I see perhaps into the number 2 position in this one?
I think it was. Look at the battle for third back there.
Yeah, they're side by side in the same lane there trying to work it out.
Meanwhile, out front, Anson Shield runs away and hides with Poirier right behind him. Will set the field as they get over the AMSOIL finish line. There's Emil Haar, the Moose. And down the stretch he comes, the 44 of Anson Shield. He'll cross the Amsoil finish line. Now 4 laps to go. Emil Haar in second, almost 2 seconds behind him.
So watching Anson, and he is really pulling it out now. You can see that he's opened up almost a 2-second gap on Haar. That's what it looks like from above there, that 2-second gap. That's an eternity on one of these tracks, especially a longer track like this one. And he is just acing his way through these backstretch rhythms, nice and smooth. I mean, Haar is just as smooth, but Shield, I mean, he got that launch from the start, and then just those first few corners nailed it, and that's going to be a great confidence boost for him.
We've got 2 rookies in this Amsoil Pro division this year. Creighton Dillon, who's having a great season, and now Anson Shield out front here in round 2, heat 2 of the Amsoil Pro division, holding off Emil Haar in a big way.
And Haar needs to kind of have eyes in the back of his head here, because Ryan might try to sneak up on him. Looks like right now, coming out of the switchbacks, that outside in is the preferred lane, but that means the inside to outside lane is not getting ridden as much. And as that other lane starts to get choppy, you get more kickers and whoops developing in it from everybody running on it, you might see later on where people start to change lanes, and that inside-outside sweep through the switchbacks will be the preferred line.
Wow, Emil Haar bobbled a bit right there, and Poirier was right on his tail. You called it. Teo Poirier is on a rail. Great weekend for him so far here in Canada.
Right now, Anson Shield is absolutely in the zone. And watch when he comes around this section of the track here. There's 4 jumps before you get to the Amsoil finish line. Double, keeps the nose high, and then just blasts through those last 2 like they weren't even there.
White flag flies for Anson Shield. Now, Emil Haar made up a little bit of time on that lap. Now the lead is only a 1.5 seconds. But Anson Shield, there's Emil Haar. And right behind him, Teo Poirier.
Yeah, and in the case of Emil Haar, you know, having that last place finish in round 1, you do the best you can in round number 2. Ideally, you want to win. You'll take the 2nd place. Then you got to let the chips fall where they may, see where everybody else finishes and how that relates to where you're going to line up for the final.
Out of the FXR final turn, and down the stretch he comes, the rookie. Round 2, heat 2 of the Pro division will go to Anson Shield.
Nice ride for the Sharing Speed Sport racer.
Emil Haar come across in second, and Teo Poirier comes across in third, and the new father, Riley Bester, comes across in 4th.
Evan Dowd, remember he had a good run in round number 1, comes away with a 5th here in round number 2. So that wraps up the 2 rounds of Amsoil Pro qualifying. There's a look at the results here. And we're going to step aside for a timeout. We have more to come as we continue on here this evening from the Skidoo Grand Prix de Valcourt. The LCQ for Pro Light. Last chance to make the big dance in Pro Light is next.
Amsoil has your ultimate oil change. Shop by vehicle to pick the right oil and filter. Choose the best product and packaging option for you, and get it shipped right to your door. For the protection you demand,